What is going on, financially free affiliate marketing? It's so good to be back. It's been quite a while since I've been on video in the group. I know things have been crazy busy, but it's so awesome to be able to jump back on a video and see all of your faces. Guys, if you're checking this out on a replay, drop me a hashtag replay. If you are jumping on live, drop me a hashtag live. Really, really good to see everybody, first of all. As I said, it's been quite a long time. Things have been really, really crazy for a while for me. For a lot of you guys, you'll be aware of that. You would have seen what's going on. But big shout out to everybody for supporting as always. It's been amazing to have all of your support as well. I've still been semi-active, sort of posting in the group and, putting content out there because I want to help you guys as much as possible. But today, I'm back. I'm extremely happy to be back. I'm going to try and make this a regular thing, time permitting, so I'm not going to commit it to anything right now. But today I'm back with 3 reasons why your leads aren't converting to sales. Now, this is a huge, huge problem for a lot of people. And I know this was a huge problem for me for the better part of 6 months when I started. I really, really struggled to figure out why these leads weren't converting because I knew I had leads. People were showing interest. I was sending links. I was building relationships and people were asking questions. I was sensing these what I later learned were buying signals, but nobody ever bought. And it was incredibly frustrating. I could not figure out what was going on. So today I want to give you 3 potential reasons. Now, understand this is not an exhaustive list of reasons why your leads aren't converting to sales. It could be a number of things, but I want to give you 3 of the most common reasons. The 3 of the most common reasons that your leads are not converting into sales. Okay. Let's jump into it. Before we do though, guys, if you've jumped on live, drop me a hashtag live and I'd love to know where you're checking in from. So guys, if you're watching live, throw me a hashtag live in the comments. Let me know where in the world you're checking in from. And if you guys are checking this out on a replay, do the same. Drop me a hashtag replay. Let me know where you're checking in from in the world. I'm going to come back and respond to all of these comments. Unfortunately, today I don't have time to stick around and answer questions, but I'm going to come back and respond to all of these questions that anybody has. So if anything comes up throughout this presentation, I guess we'll call it, then drop me a comment down below. I'll come back and I'll answer it all for you guys. I want you all to be super clear, but it's awesome to be back. Good to see you all. Hope everyone's doing really, really well. Let's jump into it. 3 reasons your leads aren't converting to sales. So number 1, and this is huge, is that they don't see you as an authority, right? You've got to be seen as an authority in the game to make a bunch of sales. Like if you want to get any sort of traction, you need to be seen as an authority in this affiliate space. So if your leads don't see you as an authority, if you're not positioning yourself as an authority and as a leader, then it's very likely that they're not going to convert to sales. And this is why I wanted to bring this up as the first point. Incredibly important thing is you need to position yourself as an authority and these people need to see you as an authority. Okay. It goes both ways. It starts with the belief. All of this starts with belief. You need to believe. You need to see yourself as an authority and believe that you have access to information and that is very valuable to certain people. You know things that a lot of people don't, and you have something to offer. You can teach people. Let's jump into a little bit more detail. So ways that you can build yourself up as an authority is content. Now, these are just dot points. I understand they're very, very simple in the presentation, but content as number 1, right? You position yourself as an authority through your content. And that's a huge way to gain authority in this space, right? Content, tell stories, tell people about your breakthroughs, but most importantly, position yourself as an authority. So don't constantly throw shade on yourself, on your name. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't show, that you're not super confident. And I'm not saying that you need to be like the most confident person in the world. When I started this, I was a massively, introverted and worried about getting on video. I've told that story. I'm about making myself sick about getting on lives before. But I definitely wasn't confident and I didn't see myself as an authority, right? And my sales reflected that. And as I grew, as I learned more information, as I grew as a person, as a marketer, things improved. And I started to see myself as an authority and I started portraying that through my content, positioning myself as an authority. So not as like a giant dick, but as someone that knows information, right? Like somebody who is an authority, somebody who has access to this information, right? Knows things that somebody else doesn't and is there to help, is there to teach, and is there as a leader, not necessarily a peer, but as a leader. Okay. So it's important to position yourself in your content as an authority. This is where it all starts. Right. And I just wanted to talk about know, like, and trust quickly. It's a very big point to make. Like, it's a very, very big point, and it kind of ties into being seen as an authority, right? But you need to be seen as an authority, as well as people need to know, like, and trust you. Now, we know this, like, I can, I've got a bookcase full of marketing books behind me that I've read in the last 12 months, and just about every high level marketer will go back to this, to the know, like, and trust, right? Because it's absolutely essential. People need to know who you are, they need to like who you are, and they need to trust you if you want to sell something to them, right? If you want to be able to convert your leads to sales, you need to cover these three things. And these three things are really like fundamental. Like, these are core things that are just non-negotiable, no matter who you are, no matter what you sell, where you go. Know, like, and trust is huge. Okay. So make sure that we're positioning ourselves as an authority, but keep in mind that people need to know, like, and trust us. So as I said before, if we're being incredibly rude, if we're arrogant or something like that, sure, we'll probably be seen as an authority, but people aren't going to know, like, and trust us. So there's a balance, right? There's a line. So you need to be a likable character. You need to be trustworthy. People need to know who you are. You need to put your face out there while being seen as an authority. Super important, right? And being the alpha in the conversation. So we've probably all heard this before. It's an old sales thing. You need to be the alpha. You need to be leading the conversation, okay? You need to be in the dominant position. And this is really, really true. Like, in your conversations, you need to be, again, to tie it back, seen as an authority, okay, in your conversation. So how do you be seen as an authority? You're the alpha in the conversation. You're leading it, okay? So you're the one that's directing the conversation in the direction that you want it to go. And this doesn't mean being like really dominating and rude and pushing people and ignoring what they're saying. These are human beings. We need to talk to people because we need them to know, like, and trust us. But we also need to be able to lead the conversation, to be the alpha. Okay, so we need to be able to guide the direction of the conversation, stay in the alpha position. We're the one we're the one in charge. Like, we're directing it in this way. And the other person is obviously, answering questions and receptive to what we're saying. But we're definitely the alpha. We're seen as the authority. Again, this comes through belief. Like, this all stems with belief. So crucial. If you don't see yourself as an authority, if you don't see yourself as the alpha in the conversation, you'll take on the beta role, and the other person will lead the conversation, and you'll never make a sale in that instance. So this is like one big reason, being seen as an authority. And these are three little points that I want you guys to consider. As I said, this is not an exhaustive list of all the reasons why your leads aren't converting into sales. These are what I see as like the major reasons that potentially why your leads are not converting into sales. So I hope some of you guys have got already a couple of light bulbs through here. Let me know down below in the chat, maybe drop me a hashtag value if that was helpful for you, or let me know your biggest takeaway or insight. I'd love to know, what you guys are taking away from that first part, the first point that I wanted to make. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to move on to the next one. You're being too salesy, right? And I know there's a lot of people that need to hear that right now. You are being too salesy, right? I needed to hear that. Sometimes I still do. Like, I needed to hear that many times before. You're being too salesy. You're pushing people. You've got sales breath. They can smell it from a mile away. It's so obvious what your motive is here. It's going to kill your sales. So if your leads are not converting into sales, there's a good chance that you may be being too salesy. As I said, I've been there a long, long time. I pushed away a lot of sales. I left thousands and thousands of dollars on the table for this reason. Okay. So potentially, if your leads aren't converting into sales, you might be being too salesy. There's a few things to think about here. A lot of the time, what we do is we get into like sales mode because we're like, got to make some money. I'm chatting to a bunch of people. Let's go. Let's get them in. Let's find out about their problems. Let's see if I can solve them. Let's offer them a solution. Right. And we completely neglect to find any common ground with a person, to build any kind of rapport. We'll jump straight into like, hey, it's great to connect. What do you do online? Oh, that's really cool. How's that going for you? Oh, yeah. How long have you been doing that? Oh, cool. So what's your goals? Right. This person is just going to put their walls up straight away and back right off because first of all, it's probably been a cold outreach message. So they don't know who you are. You've sort of come out of the blue and jumped in their inbox and you haven't found any common ground. You need to build rapport. Like, this is absolutely crucial. All of my sales conversations have started with finding some common ground. Okay. So some of them I've invested more time and energy into this. Some of them less. Some of them were easier. Okay. But all of them, I found some kind of common ground somewhere. So it's really, really important. So this is a common cause of, being too salesy, not making sales, is that you're being really, really pushy, right? And we're just jumping straight into business, and we're not taking any time to find any kind of common ground or rapport with the person. And I want, particularly the high ticket affiliates that are watching this, it's going to be absolutely crucial for you, because you're selling something, it's worth over $1,000. In order for somebody to make a purchase online of something that is worth over $1,000, you're going to need to find some sort of common ground. You're going to need to build some kind of rapport. Like, it'll be very rare where you don't, like, out of the, well over 100 high ticket sales now that I've made since starting, I can't think of one where I haven't found any common ground or rapport, and I've just been able to jump straight into business and close it. Maybe there was one, but off the top of my head, I can't think of one. So absolutely crucial, guys. Really, really important. And this comes off as salesy when we just jump straight into business, right? So if you're failing to convert your leads to sales, let's take a look. Are we finding common ground? Are we building any rapport with the person? If not, we need to be doing that. It's a non-negotiable. It's got to be done. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is interrogating your leads. So we're coming off as too salesy when we're interrogating our leads. And this is something, like, I'm going to say this again and again because these are all mistakes that I made, and that's why I want to share them with you guys so you don't have to make them. But interrogating your leads is something I see a lot of people do, and I did a long time myself, is it's just counterproductive. Like, we get taught that we need to ask questions, and we do need to ask questions. We need to ask the right questions as well. It's super important. Like, we need to do some digging. But, and here's the big but, if this conversation is coming off like an interrogation, the people are going to back off again. They're going to put their walls up. They're going to be like, yo, what's the deal? Like, you're just hammering me with questions. I don't know anything about you. You haven't shared anything with me, and you're just hammering me with all of these questions. So as I said, important to ask questions. If we don't ask questions, we don't get any information. And if we don't have any information, we don't make a sale. But be careful not to interrogate your leads. Like, this is a conversation. This is a person, right? Back and forth. Okay, so super important to make sure you're not interrogating your leads. This is something I teach my students inside the mastermind. A few ways of getting around this. There's a few formulas I use, which is, ways of getting around feeling like it's an interrogation. But really important. Like, you need to look at that. Have a look back at your conversations. Some of your conversations maybe that you think should have converted to a sale. Let's go back. Let's have a look. Did you interrogate them? Right? Like, was it just a series of questions bombarding them? Because if so, I think that's a pretty good reason someone would make a purchase. They're going to back up. You're pushing them into a corner. They're backing up. They're putting their walls up, and you're just hounding them with questions. And you've heard me say this term a few times already, but something else that you need to consider is the fact that they've got their walls up. Now, people will quite often have their walls up when we're doing outreach messaging, because you are clearly a marketer. Your profile says that you're a marketer. You've just hit them up in their inbox and their walls are 10 feet high. They're like, whoa, this guy's going to try and sell me something. Let's just wait and see what the pitch is. Let's wait and see what the product is. We need to get the walls down, right? If they've got their walls up, they're probably not going to make a purchase, right? If they've got their walls up, if they're like kind of like backing up like this. So again, this is something we teach in detail inside of the mastermind that I'm running at the moment, but we need to be able to get the walls down somehow is the point that I'm trying to make here. There's a bunch of different ways you can do that. Do something they don't expect, get a state change, make them laugh, something like that. Get them to open up a little bit. There's a lot of different ways we can do that. I could rattle off 100 different ways, but whatever way you do it, you need to get the walls down. So if they've got their walls up, you're not going to make a sale. You need to get the walls down. So whatever you can do to do that. So I hope that's all clear. I hope that makes sense, guys. What I mean by walls up, their walls are 10 feet high. They're in defensive mode. They're kind of already expecting a certain something from you. I hope that's all clear, guys. Again, if there's any big takeaways, I'd love to know down below in the chat. Let me know. As I said, I'm going to check this out as soon as I hop off my call after this, but let me know down below. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from this. If there's anything maybe you think you've been doing and you're like, you've had this light bulb and you're like, oh crap, I've got to stop doing that. I'd love to know down below, guys. Let me know. Drop me a comment, drop me a hashtag or something, whatever it is. Engagement gets me pumped to share a bit more value as always. So let's jump into the third and final point that I want to talk about today. Right. Is there a problem? Right. Is really, really important. Really, really important. So I'm going to talk through a few points here. So when you're trying to make a sale, it's really important to have a clear picture of where the person is currently at. Like, you need to know what they're doing. You need to be clear on this. Not like, oh, I think they're doing something in MLM, or I think they're doing some kind of network marketing or funnels or whatever it is, right? That's not good enough. Like, you need to have a clear picture. You need to know exactly what they're doing. It's important because all of the information that we're gathering is going to make us or help us to decide whether we can help this person. Can we even help this person? Because if we can't, we don't put an offer in front of them. So if you don't know exactly what they're doing, how can you know if you can help them? Excuse me, guys. Yeah. So like, I hope that makes sense. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have a clear picture, you don't know if you can help them, and you don't know how you can help them. Okay. You need to have a clear picture of exactly where that person is at, right? Really, really crucial. The next thing that you need to ask yourself is, have they got a problem? Right? Do they even have a problem? Because if they don't have a problem, if there's no problem there, we are wasting our time trying to convert someone. This isn't even a lead, right? And a lot of people get this confused. Like, they'll call a lead anyone who kind of opens up and is a little bit receptive to the conversation. That's not a lead. A lead is someone who's got a problem and is open to hearing what you've got to say. Really important. So before we classify someone as a lead, before we start trying to sell people something, have they even got a problem? Right? First thing you've got to ask yourself, do they have a problem? So important. I can't stress this enough. Extremely important. Do they have a problem? If not, stop wasting your time. Don't continue the conversation. Don't be rude. You don't have to be rude, but politely end the conversation, wish them well, and tell them to stay in contact if you can help at all in the future. Right? The next thing is, are they looking for a solution? Right? Are they even looking for a solution? Because it's one thing if they've got a problem, but if they're not looking for a solution, if they know, I probably need a high ticket program, but I can't invest right now, I'm not in a position, maybe in 4 weeks, the person's not ready. Like, that's not a lead that you can close right now. That's somebody that obviously, you could close in a few weeks. It's best to stay in contact with. But if the person's not actively looking for a solution, why are we trying to sell something to them? I know these last sort of points I've brought up have been like what would seem is really, really obvious for a lot of people, but I overlooked this stuff for so long, especially this last one. Do they have a problem? I overlooked this for so long. I was trying to pitch people and sell people products before I even knew if there was a problem there. Idiot. Like, I felt like an idiot when I realized this, but there's no shame in doing this. I've done it. I know a lot of people that have done it, and there's probably a lot of people that are watching this that have done this as well. But if they don't have a problem, how are we going to sell something to them? Because we solve problems, right? That's what we do, is we help put a solution for someone's problem in front of them if it's a good fit, right? So if they don't have a problem, what are we going to put in front of them? Occasionally, like once in a blue moon, there'll be a sale. Someone who doesn't have a problem and might be looking to further their education, or somebody that might be looking for, something like that, just another offer to promote. But then most of the time you're going to need and when I say most of the time, it's like 99.9% of the time, if the person doesn't have a problem, there's no sale to be made there. I overlooked that for so long. And that's why I want to share it with you guys, because I don't want you guys to overlook this. If there's no problem, stop trying to sell things to people, right? And if they're not actively looking for a solution, we're wasting our time trying to put a solution in front of them, because we're putting something in front of them that they're not even looking for. Like, I hope that makes sense. It's pretty self-explanatory, but as I said, a lot of people overlook it, including myself, for a long, long time. Let me know, guys. Is that clear? Is that helpful? And it all comes back to asking the right questions. Obviously, you aren't asking the right questions. You need to know all this information. It's so important. I think it's probably worth recapping. So you aren't asking the right questions. Do you have a clear picture of where they're currently at? Have you asked those questions? Do they have a problem? Have you asked that question? Are they looking for a solution? Have you asked them that question? Right? All non-negotiables in making a sale. I hope that's all super clear, guys. I hope that's helpful, and that's made a few people, have some realizations. I'd love to know down below. Let me know in the chat your biggest takeaway from this. If maybe you've been guilty of doing one of these things and you finally realized it today. love to know. As I said, I have done all of these, all of the above. And that's why it was so easy for me to create this quick slideshow because, because I've done all of these in the past. I struggled with all of these for so long. And these are the things that I had to overcome in order to get to where I'm at now. Okay. Incredibly powerful stuff. If you can master this, it's incredibly powerful, guys. So as I said, drop me a comment down below, whatever it is, let me know if you got value, or let me know your biggest takeaway, even better, so that I can continue to customize and improve these trainings for you guys. As I said, I'm going to try and make these a little bit more regular, which would be exciting. And for those who are potentially interested, guys, I've obviously been running a mastermind for a little bit. I've kind of dropped a few hints of that throughout this live, that it's in beta phase right now. These are the types of things that we teach inside there. So we go through things in detail, like I know one of my favorite parts of the mastermind training is the 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think it was, 2 hours and 20 minutes messenger masterclass, where we go through exactly how you speak to people, exactly what you got to say, the types of questions you need to ask, the positioning. It's a gold mine. Honestly, it's a gold mine. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes of just everything that me and my business partner know about Messenger and the way we've been able to build 6-figure businesses, almost exclusively closing sales through Messenger. So it's been incredibly powerful stuff. That's just one out of 6 lessons that we have inside of the mastermind. And the reason that I've mentioned that is that I have a seriously exciting offer right now. It's obviously in beta phase, so the price is heavily, heavily discounted. As it will move up, the investment will move up. It's going to double very soon and beyond. We know that because it's selling very quickly. But right now we've limited intake because we've had a lot of people coming in recently, and we want to make sure that we have the time and attention to work with everybody carefully. Now, we've opened up 5 more spots. Sorry, that looks like 10. We've opened up 5 more spots, and there's strictly 5 more spots for now. Okay, we're limiting intake, as I said. So we have 5 spots for anybody who is looking to accelerate their high-ticket business right now. If you are interested in a little bit more information, if you're serious about making this high-ticket affiliate marketing thing work, and you're looking to work with somebody who's built a 6-figure business in the last 12 months and gone through all of these problems, and he's able to answer the questions because he's still in the trenches, send me a message now. Just send me like a hashtag mastermind on Facebook Messenger. And I'll get back to you guys, and we can, give you a little bit more info and see if it's a good fit. First thing, I need to send you to an application to make sure it is a good fit for both of us. But yeah, as I said, we're taking on 5 spots. That's it. Just wanted to put that out there for anyone who might be interested. They are very, very limited. It is strictly 5 spots. The whole goal is to get you to your first 2 to 3 sales as quickly as possible, so you can recoup your entire investment and go on and replicate what you did to make those sales in order to make a bunch more sales and hit 10K a month. So guys, send me a hashtag mastermind if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about that. But for those who aren't, I hope you got a ton of value today. I hope this was really, really helpful. Light bulb moments. If you haven't already, I'd love to know where you're checking in from in the world. Drop me a hashtag live. And if you're watching this on replay, drop me a hashtag replay. I'd love to know who's checking this out. I'm going to check all the comments out. So if you do have questions, throw them down below. 3 biggest takeaways. I just want to see lots of engagement, lots of comments and stuff like that. And I'll reply to all of them as soon as I can, guys. But thanks to everybody who jumped on live. As I said, I hope it was incredibly helpful. We had a few light bulb moments, and I hope this makes a big difference in your business. I'd love to hear some success stories a week later. Say, oh, I stopped talking to people who didn't have a problem, and now I'm saving 45 minutes a day. I'm talking to the right people. There's nothing better. That would be the best case scenario for me to get a comment like that. So let me know, guys, if it's given any breakthroughs and you have any results based off this. I'll be back very soon. As I said, I want to make these a lot more regular. So I'll be back very soon for another quick presentation. Appreciate everybody who jumped on live and engaged, left me a comment. I'm going to check them all out afterwards. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you very soon. Ciao.